Hey YouTube, this is Primetime Pokemon. In this video, I'll be reviewing and then giving away the Tropical Takedown theme deck. This is a grass type theme deck based around a Alolan Exeggutor. This is the second Forbidden Light theme deck that I reviewed on my channel. Last month, I reviewed the Twilight Rogue theme deck. That was a fighting and psychic type theme deck based around Lycanroc. So this theme deck review video will be laid out the following way. The majority of the video, I'll be going through each and every card in this theme deck, and then at the end of this video, I'll state the rules to entry. You'll also find the full details for entry into this giveaway in the description of this video. So the general strategy with this deck is to have as many different energy cards in your discard pile as possible. That way you can do more damage when attacking with a Lowland Exeggutor. Like the Twilight Rogue deck, this deck, for the majority of the time, can do up to 120 damage per turn. So if you're looking for a more competitive deck, this is one not to use. This is more of a two-hit knockout type deck. But the advantage here, like any theme deck really, is that it is not based around GX or EX cards. So if your opponent knocks out one of your Pokemon, they only get one prize card instead of two. So on the screen here, you can see the deck checklist. 20 total Pokemon in this deck, 20 trainer cards, and 20 energy. So each type of card would be a third of the deck. Of course, this isn't the best way for building a competitive deck, but as far as theme decks go, this is a good way for beginners to determine a basic strategy with a deck. You'll notice that there are several different types of energy cards. Again, that is because of Alolan Exeggutor. You're never going to want to do this in a more competitive deck. You usually want one type of basic energy and then one or two special energy cards. So before I get into this deck review, I'll show the items inside the deck box. First up would be the 2-player playmat and rule sheet, the damage counters, burn and poison markers, and GX marker. There is a pamphlet with the Forbidden Light checklist, the deck box, the Pokemon coin, the online TCG code card, and then the special holo of a Lowland Exeggutor. So I can show the Pokemon first in this deck. There are 20 total Pokemon. Started off with the main line, a 3-2 line of Execute and Exeggutor. Execute, and both of these cards are from the Forbidden Light set. Execute has a very low HP of only 40, and it does have a low retreat cost, which helps. Multiply, for 1 colorless energy, allows you to search your deck for Execute and put it on your bench. So if you are looking to evolve both Execute in this theme deck into Exeggutor quite quickly, this is a good way to do it. Put Execute in the active Pokemon spot to start the game and use Multiply. And then there are 2 Alolan Exeggutor in this theme deck, and as you'll note, evolves from Execute, so there is not an Alolan Execute in the TCG. This card has a pretty amazing HP for a Stage 1 card of 160. It does have a high retreat cost, however. For only 1 grass energy card, this move, Tropical Shake, does 20 damage plus 20 more damage for each type of basic energy card in your discard pile. You can't add more than 100 damage in this way. So this card, like I mentioned, can do 120 damage per turn for only 1 grass energy card. So this is a quick attacking card that can do major damage. And I do like its high HP. So again, that is the reason that there are 5 different types of basic energy in this theme deck. And a lot of the Pokemon in the deck require colorless energy when attacking. Next up would be a 2-1 line of Cubone and Alolan Marowak. This card is from the Forbidden Light set. Cubone has an HP of 60, a fairly high retreat cost, and a slow move called Burdensome Bone that requires 2 colorless energy and does 40 damage. This Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. So like most basic Pokemon out there with evolution forms, you're going to want to keep this card on your bench, or if you put it in the active Pokemon spot, evolve it immediately. And then Alolan Marowak, just the 1 copy of this card from the Forbidden Light set. It does have an above average HP of 120, 2 moves, Limbo Limbo, which requires no energy at all, And it says, search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. And then a Lowland Club for 2 colorless energy does 20 damage for each of your Pokemon in play that has a Lowland in its name. So this is another powerful attacker. I really do like Limbo as well, especially with 5 different types of basic energy. You can go to your deck and choose the specific energy types you need. So Limbo accelerates energy in this deck. Next up would be a 2-2 line of a Alolan Sandshrew and a Lowland Sandslash. This card has a decent HP of 60, a low retreat cost, and then a move that requires 0 energy. Fury Swipes can do up to 30 damage. It says flip 3 coins. This attack does 10 damage for each heads. And then a Lowland Sandslash. It does have a very good ability on it. The card has an above average HP of 110, and Slush Rush is a great ability to use from the bench. It says once during your turn, you may draw a card. And then Smash Turn for 3 energy cards does 50 damage. Switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. So with that move, it makes it even more likely you're going to just keep a Lowland Sandslash on your bench. But allowing you to draw cards each and every turn is very useful. Next up would be a 2-2 line of a Lowland Ratatat and a Lowland Raticate. 2 different Alolan Raticate in this deck. Lowland Ratatat from the Sun and Moon base set has a low HP like Execute. You don't want to keep this card in the active Pokemon spot for long. It does have a free retreat cost, however. And then 2 Alolan Raticate. This one's from the Sun and Moon base set. A good HP of 120. 2 moves. Evil Orders says to search your deck for a number of cards up to the number of your bench Pokemon and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So that is very useful, again, for getting some of the basic energy into your hand or finding specific cards you need to evolve your Pokemon. And then Endeavor, for 3 energy cards, does 60 damage plus 30 more damage for each heads. So if you get lucky, this move can do 120 damage for those 3 energy cards. So I do like this card overall as well. And then the other Alolan Raticate is from Burning Shadows. Similar HP of 120, 2 moves. Enhanced Fang for 0 energy does 10 damage plus, if this Pokemon has a Pokemon Tool card attached to it, this attack does 50 more damage. And then Hyper Fang for 1 darkness energy does 60 damage. However, if you get a Tails when flipping a coin, this move does nothing. So the other Alolan Raticate is a little bit better, but if you have a Pokemon Tool card attached to this one, it can do more damage for no energy at all. Both do, however, have high retreat costs. The last 3 Pokemon here, all 1 copy of each. Oricorio from the Guardians Rising set, 90 HP. Its ability, Vital Dance, says when you play this Pokemon from your hand on your bench during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. So another trend we're seeing here is allowing you to choose the specific basic energy you want from your deck and putting them into your hand. And then Casual Slap for 2 energy cards does 30 damage. So similar to Alolan Sandslash, this is a card you want to utilize from your bench. 1 Soul Rock, this is from Burning Shadows, 90 HP, 2 moves on this card. Double Draw allows you to draw 2 cards, and then Solar Heat does 20 damage plus 20 more damage if there is a Stadium card in play. So a solid card overall. And then the final Pokemon would be Furfrou, 90 HP. Return is its only move. It does 20 damage for 1 colorless energy. You may draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. So similar to something like Lily. So there's a look at the Pokemon. While I like the Pokemon in the Twilight Rogue theme deck a little bit better, the Pokemon here really work well together. Again, the theme is allowing you to get whatever basic energy you want into your hand and onto your Pokemon. And then this deck can do about 120 damage per turn when attacking. I can move on to the trainer cards now, 20 total. I'll show the supporter cards first. 8 total supporters in this theme deck. First up would be How, 2 copies of this card. It says to draw 3 cards. This is from the Sun and Moon base set. It is always important to be able to get additional cards into your hand each and every turn. Lady which is from Forbidden Light, would be next. 1 copy of this card. Search your deck for up to 4 basic energy cards, reveal them, and put them in your hand. This is similar to some of the Pokemon in this deck because there are 5 different types of basic energy. This is very useful. Lily would be next. 1 copy of this card. This is from Ultra Prism. Draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. If it's your first turn, draw cards until you have 8 cards in your hand. Like I mentioned, you always want to have more cards in your hand. It's easier to set up your Pokemon with the more cards you have in your hand. There are 2 copies of Professor Kukui. This is from Sun and Moon base set. This card also allows you to draw 2 cards, but it increases a Pokemon's attack by 20 the same turn you use Professor Kukui. And then there are also 2 copies of Sophocles from the Burning Shadow set. Discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, draw 4 cards. So another card that allows you to get additional cards into your hand. Next up would be the Item, Tool, and Stadium cards. 12 of these types of cards. First up would be Energy Lotto. 1 copy of this card from the Guardians Rising set. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal an energy card you find there and put it into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So again, with so many basic energy cards, this is very useful. 1 copy of Energy Retrieval. Put 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. 1 copy of Escape Board. The retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to is 1 colorless energy less, and it can retreat even if it's asleep or paralyzed. So this is better than Float Stone if the Pokemon this card is attached to only has a 1 colorless energy retreat cost. Escape Rope. There is 1 copy of this card from the Burning Shadow set. Each player switches their active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. Your opponent switches first. So a modified version of Guzma. This is also a way to retreat your Pokemon for free. Field Blower. 1 copy of this card from Guardians Rising. Choose up to 2 in any combination of Pokemon tool cards and stadium cards in play and discard them. Useful for getting rid of things like Choice Band, Fighting Fury Belt, and Float Stone. 2 copies of Nest Ball from the Sun and Moon base set. Search your deck for basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. So it's always useful to have basic Pokemon on your bench so you don't lose a game. 1 potion from Sun and Moon base set. Heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. I prefer Acerola, which heals all damage and returns that card to your hand, but not a bad card here. 1 copy of this card. 1 copy of Rescue Stretcher from Guardians Rising. It allows you to either return 1 Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand, or shuffle 3 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck. Then there are 2 Ultra Ball in this theme deck from the Sun and Moon base set. You must discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. This is one of the most popular trainer cards out there, Ultra Ball. It's very useful for getting something like Tapu Lele GX on your bench. And then Weakness Policy, which is a tool card, says the Pokemon this card is attached to has no weakness. So it's very important. If you are facing a deck that you are weak to, you can use this card and reduce the amount of damage that that deck will do to your own Pokemon. So there's a look at the trainer cards. Usually you have around 30 trainer cards in a competitive deck, but a good number here and very useful cards for getting energy into your hand. Now on to the energy in this deck. 20 total energy, 5 different basic energy types. So there are 8 grass energy, 3 darkness energy, 3 fighting energy, 3 water type energy, and then 3 psychic type energy. So again, 20 total, and you're usually not going to have that many energy in a deck and not that many different types, but this deck really does work well together with all those different types of basic energy. So now on to the giveaway portion of this video. It's pretty easy to enter this giveaway. All you have to do is you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and then in the comment section of this video, state your favorite card from the Forbidden Light set. Once you've done those 3 things, you're successfully entered into this giveaway. At the end of June, I will be randomly selecting one of the commenters on this video using a random number generator. And for complete details to entry for this giveaway, please see the description of this video. So good luck to everyone who does enter. Thanks everyone for watching. As always, before you go, make sure to check out all the links in the description of this video, including links to my blog, Facebook, and Twitter pages. And stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.